back into the Sean podcast. Is that Big Us? Is that Cat Daddy? Cat Daddy, what's on your mind?
Another good week in the NFL. We saw some teams get closer to playoff berth. We saw the Arizona Cardinals become the first team to reach double digits. And then we saw another team get its first win of the year. So let's see how these wins and the losses for those other teams, let's see what they do to our rankings and where we have our awards.
Don't do much to mine. Anyways, Sean, we'll
Well,
start
don't
you
spoil
off.
it. We gotta hook people in and say, listen to the whole episode. Come on.
Well, they're going to stick with us. I got some stuff to say at some point. Sean, let's start off with your offensive players. Any changes?
Alrighty. There is a slight change. My top two are still the same. My number one is Jonathan Taylor. He's now up to, I think it's 1,348 rushing yards, which means he's averaging over 100 per game, and he's got 18 total touchdowns in the season.
Yep.
He's looking
Try to go for that
good.
LaDainian Tomlinson.
He is. You know what? LaDainian Tomlinson, Sean Alexander, that's where it was. Let me see if I can get to that level. Maybe even throwing a little Priest Holmes in there, but let's not go too far down memory lane. Number two, still Cooper Kupp. He rebounds with a solid performance against the Jaguars, because anybody can. And now he's up to 100 receptions on the year. He's now over 1,300 yards and 11 touchdowns. Man, he's having a good season for a wide receiver. And I have a new person for number three because Deebo Samuel didn't play. And that one kind of hurt him in my rankings. Because number three is now Austin Eckler of the Los Angeles Chargers. He is a true dual threat running back. He's up to nearly 1,200 scrimmage yards. I think he's got 15 touchdowns, and it's almost like yardage touchdowns. It's almost half and half. That's all on, I think, just a little over 200 touches. He got 56 receptions on the year. Man, he's doing good.
I ain't got poo-poo on that. So, for mine, Jonathan Taylor, most valuable offensive player in the league right now. Just what it is. Next up, Cooper Kupp stays there, having a fantastic season. The Get Right game helped him out. And then somebody else had a Get Right game to get back on the list with Deebo being out. And that's Tom Brady. Mr. Tom Brady is back on the list with 4 touchdowns against, I know it was Atlanta, but hey, it is what it is. Sean, any changes to your defensive player of the year?
Same people, slightly different order. And the reason the order is different is TJ Watt played again. Because in order for him to stay in the number one spot, he's got to play. And man, he came out this week. He had, I think it was 4 tackles for a loss, 3.5 sacks, forced fumble. Man, he disrupts the game when he's on the field. He's just got to stay on the field. Number 2, bumped down 1 spot is Myles Garrett. He was inactive on the bye, so no news for him. And then Nick Bosa put up another solid game. So, same 3, just slightly different order.
Nothing's changed with mine. Myles Garrett's still number 1. TJ Watt's number 2. Now, note, we'll see what happens this week. I didn't want to change because, I don't really penalize people for being on buys. So, let's see what happens this week if TJ does better than Myles. But, they're neck and neck right now. And then my number 3, yes, he deserves this designation. Yes, I like what Nick Bosa's doing, but Micah Parsons is a grown man. He is a grown-ass man doing grown-ass man things. At 2 different positions. All right, Sean. How about your offensive rookie of the year? Any changes?
Yes. Holding on.
By dear life.
Dear life. Holding on to the number 1 spot is Jamar Chase. He finally cracked the 50-yard mark in a game.
He could have done better.
Barely. He had 52, but yeah, there was a couple drops in there. And right now, his number 1 spot on my offensive rookie list is riding that early season success. So
He could have had that long touchdown and basically cemented his stock. Just cemented it with that long.
could have, yes, could have, but he didn't. And that's why he's barely hanging on to number 1.
I agree.
I have a new number 2, and that is going to be Jalen Waddle. Yes, number 2.
Just asking.
Yeah. He didn't have a chance to hit the Waddle celebration, so that slightly disappointed me this weekend. But he is showing that he is a clear favorite in this Miami offense. He's now up to 86 receptions.
And wait.
849 yards.
Wait. Do you have any more receivers on your list?
I mean, I can add one in if you want me to.
No, I'm just asking. Do you have any more receivers on your list?
I don't.
Oh, so you got Jamar Chase and Jalen Waddle.
Yep.
Someone else isn't on the list?
Nope.
Oh, just wanted to check. I just wanted to check.
I mean, you could make the argument that Joe Burrow is certainly a more competent quarterback than Jalen Hurts. And Tua Tagovailoa
going with that.
is a more competent quarterback than Jalen Hurts, and Zach Taylor runs a better offensive scheme than Philadelphia.
But
Brian Flores, even with the offensive coordinator who we've criticized at several points this year, is still better than Philadelphia.
Triggered.
So
But
I don't think it's
time,
lack of talent. I think it's
wait. But who would be? Let's be honest. Out of the rookies, who would be your third best wide receiver so far this year?
third best receiver? That would be Devontae Smith.
Are you sure?
I want it to be.
Because there's another wide receiver out there who I think's been outdoing him also.
Who's that?
Elijah Moore.
Oh. See, it's Elijah Moore's been coming on
and Zach
strong.
Wilson. Use your same logic on the Jets.
Do I think the Jets' offense is more competent than Philadelphia? Yes.
No, don't lie.
Yes.
No effing way.
The Eagles' offense is let Jalen Hurts run around until he gets tired, then he can throw a couple of times.
Jalen Hurts didn't play this week. Jalen Hurts didn't play this week, and how well did Devonta Smith do this week, and Jalen Hurts didn't play?
No,
as you said,
he didn't.
The Philly offense looked better with Gardner Minshew.
It did.
And
it did.
Did your boy contribute much?
Well, what's your definition of much?
Did he get any catches?
Yeah.
How many?
All right, let me pull up the stats real quick.
That's how you know he didn't get enough, because he didn't know the stat off the top of his head.
Well, I just wanted to make sure I was correct with this. So he had 4 targets, 2 catches, 15 yards.
Much.
Huh?
All right, moving on. I wanted to trigger Sean a little bit. I told you I had things to say. That's what they watch for.
People just tune in for the offensive rookie section where we have this debate. That's what they do.
So, moving on. Who's your number 3 guy?
Number 3 guy, dropping down a spot, is Mac Jones. I can only imagine how tired his arm was from handing the ball off 41 times. It was definitely a weather,
because he made the joke.
Yeah, it was definitely a weather-affected game. He still got the win.
He got the win, but he didn't do much. And I'm sorry. Do not use wins again. I hate that so much. Wins are not a team. Wins are a team stat, not an individual stat. Anyways, moving on to mine.
9 wins for Mac Jones.
You lucky you in Colorado. I will come to your house. Anyways, my offensive rookies are on exactly the same. It is Jamar Chase, hanging on by a thread. Jamar, step it up. You had a chance to have a huge play. Next time you get that chance, you make it. You make the most of it. You let your team down because that could have been the difference in that game. That changed the whole complexion of the game. That and Joe Mixon's fumble. Jalen Waddle, on the other hand, you keep balling, dog. I like you. I said that pre-draft. You were almost up there with Jamar Chase with me. All right, and then Mac Jones. Respect where respect's due, but you get no respect for this win this week because you did next to nothing. I could have been in there handing the ball off.
Those were two huge throws he made, though. Those two completions.
Dude, 3 throws.
2 completions.
Anyway, please, one of them was a screen. Anyways, moving on to the defensive rookies of the year. Who you got?
All right, it's number 1. Still Micah Parsons. He could sit down and just lay in the middle of the field for the rest of the season.
Honestly, there's no list.
He'd probably people just trip over him and still record tackles.
We're just having fun talking about who's after Micah Parsons.
We really should.
No list.
Yeah, we should really talk about 2nd, 3rd, and 4th place from now on because he's got this locked up. Parsons number 1. Insert impressive stat number 1 here. Insert impressive stat number 2 there. He did pick up another sack, so I really think he's got a shot at Joe Curse's rookie record. But that's just another day at the office for Micah Parsons.
Against somebody who's really athletic. But here's the thing. Do you think these quarterbacks, like there's only one quarterback that I've seen that has not underestimated the speed of Micah Parsons? And that was Derek Carr. Because Derek Carr, every time Micah Parsons came at him, was like, nope. Every time he saw Micah coming free, it was like 4 yards away. He's like, you ain't touching me.
Yeah.
But like, Taysom Hill, like, he's athletic. He was getting away from him. And then Micah, like, manned up. And Taysom was trying to run back. And the closing speed, good Lord.
Well, that's because in the Las Vegas game, Derek Carr was too busy trying to get Trayvon Diggs on the outside. He was too busy for that.
So, anyways, you mean Anthony Brown he was targeting, but hey. Anyways, your number, the consolation people.
The runner-up right now, number 2 is PS2, Patrick Surtain II. Another pass breakup, another interception. He is coming on hot for that Denver defense, and I love it. And number 3 is JOK, Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. He was on a bye. He's not being penalized for that because it's not like Owusu-Koramoah or Kwity Paye did anything to jump over him to get into that 3rd spot.
All right, so my ones, obviously Micah. So my consolation people. Javon Holland was still making plays. He didn't do anything exceptional, but he made enough plays to keep it going. Odafe is still going to be my number 3. But JOK, we'll see how he does compared to Odafe this week because he could take that over. I really like JOK as a player. Just to mention something, what happened to Aziz? Aziz got quiet.
Yeah, he had a string of like 3 straight games with the sack, and then he's had nothing since. I'd have to double check to see how many even pressures he's gotten in his past couple of games.
And don't blame Kwity Paye. He didn't have to try.
Well, I mean, Kwity Paye the last, I think, 3 weeks, he's had a combined 3 pressures, and he's been fortunate to turn 2 of those into sacks, 1 for each game prior to this one. But it's almost as if he's not getting the opportunity, or
he didn't have to try. He didn't have to try. All right, moving on. Coaching hot seats. Sean, any shake up with yours?
Of course. New week, a new coach that's just really irritating me. Except for Matt Nagy, he stays number 1. Again, fortunately for Matt Nagy, the Bears typically do not fire head coaches during the season, so it's just a matter of time until, what do they call it, the Black Monday after the season?
Black Monday.
Yep. We're just waiting for that. Number 2, welcome back, Joe Judge. It appears as though Jason Garrett wasn't the whole problem. So, man, Joe Judge. All right, skipping on number 3. Welcome back, Mike Zimmer. Your team has played in 11 one-possession games this year. Out of 12 possible games, you are 4-7, and you just lost to the previously winless Lions. Your defensive coach and your defenses have regressed significantly the past several seasons. It's not looking good for you.
All right, so here mine. My number one guy. This is just a situation of art, which I am an artful person. Imitating reality, and in reality, as much as I'd like it to be Matt Nagy, there is one coach in particular we absolutely probably know is getting let go, and that is David Culley. Unfortunately, I mean, this is a hot seat. It's not that we have to agree with it, because I don't, but David Culley's getting let go.
Oh yeah,
Next
he is.
up,
Yeah.
Matt Nagy. You didn't fall too far on the list. Matt Nagy's next. And then next up, Mr. Joe Judge. I'm sorry, Mr. Joe Judge. Your team is still a mess. I get it. Your starting quarterback hasn't played for part of the year. And maybe you'll try to parlay that into another season in your contract. But you had the same quarterback last year. And you were bad last year.
Mm-hmm.
So, ain't nothing changed but the day of the week and the weather. Now, for what you said with Zimmer, I could see Zimmer being a Black Monday casualty, because how long has Zimmer been there? And they've fallen off a lot, and they paid this quarterback a lot of money to not make the playoffs 2 years in a row? I don't think so.
And the thing is, Kirk Cousins has actually been looking good. It's just that defense isn't pulling their weight like they should be doing.
You get what I'm saying?
I
they
get
paid
it.
Kirk Cousins a lot of money to, sit at home in January and February? I don't think so.
I know.
What?
I know.
All right, next up. Top 3 teams, Sean, what they are.
All right. It is going to be the same as last week. Green Bay, Arizona, New England. Green Bay is not penalized for the bye week. Arizona, you got Murray and Hopkins back, and your team is becoming even more dangerous. You don't move up because you played the Bears, so you stay at number 2. Number 3 is New England. It was an impressive win by the Patriots, and
Yes,
it was
I agree.
a wonderful strategy that Buffalo couldn't figure out. So they got number 3 for me still.
I got the same ones. Move on.
Bottom teams. It's Detroit. Your first win doesn't move the needle much. Sorry. You're still number 1 or 32, depending on how you're looking at this. Next worst is the Houston Texans. You forgot to show up this week, and it makes me wonder how you managed to win 2 games so far this season. And I'm curious who's going to be the next head coach to take over the Texans next year. And number 3 is going to be the Jacksonville Jaguars, because Urban Meyer just appears to be in over his head with this head coaching gig.
All right. So I have the same teams, different order. Worst team, Jacksonville Jaguars. Again, roster is bad. It's just bad. Next up, Houston. You guys didn't try. I'm sorry. When team stops trying and they're bad, you got problems. And then next up's Detroit. You got 1 win. You got 1 win in the tie. I don't care. You're still bad. Yeah. All right.
That's true. I mean, when you think about it, Detroit has the same amount of winless weeks as the Texans do.
All right, moving on. We're going to the Thursday night game. Here's our preview. Thursday night, Pittsburgh goes into Minnesota. Face those Vikings. Minnesota is favored by 3. Guess what, Sean? I'm taking Pittsburgh.
So am I. So am I. That Minnesota offensive line didn't look good against the Lions. And yes, that was the Lions they didn't look good against. So I can only imagine what type of pain TJ Watt is going to bring upon them. And the secondary is horrible, so it doesn't matter how bad Ben Roethlisberger's arm is. Right.
All right, next up, we got my Dallas Cowboys going to Washington to face the Washington football team. It's actually played in Maryland, but hey, who's counting? Anyways, Dallas is favored by 4. I'm taking the Cowboys and the spread.
Cowboys for sure. Yep. Washington has. They've looked so. Washington? I don't know.
Yeah, it's just Cowboys have a 10-day rest. They're also getting Randy Gregory, and they have Gallimore, another week of conditioning for Amari Cooper and DeMarcus Lawrence.
I know.
They're getting 5 coaches back.
They're getting a lot of pieces back, and their offense is still one of the better performing offenses overall. And this Washington defense.
Well, last week, everybody asked, what's wrong with the running game? And I answered, well, they had 2 offensive line coaches out. And your offensive line coach, Joe Philman, is your run game coordinator. I wonder if that makes a difference.
It might. Who knows?
Just as well. All right, up next, we have the Baltimore Ravens traveling to Cleveland. Cleveland is favored by 2.5. I actually have Baltimore taking this one.
So do I. I think Cleveland's going to make it a very hard game for Baltimore, but I think Baltimore's going to come out on top.
Yeah, then that's about it.
Yeah, we saw Cleveland's defense play Lamar Jackson, the Baltimore offense, pretty tough several weeks ago, and then Cleveland came away with the win in that game.
Well, my question is Baker healthy enough to do something? And who's catching the ball for this team? Because Donovan Peoples-Jones hasn't stepped up the way you'd like him to.
No, I don't even know what the expectation was for him to step up now.
All right, next up, we have the Jacksonville Jaguars traveling to Tennessee to face the Titans. Titans are favored by 9. I think they're supposed to be getting Julio Jones back. I do have the Titans winning this game, but I don't know if it's by 9. The Titans tend to play down to their opponent.
I just think of 2 weeks ago, I think it was, where the Titans dropped a game to Houston, 22-13, and that was after beating New Orleans 23-21. Overall, I think the Titans are a better team. And I think the Titans are going to win, but I wouldn't feel good about that spread.
All right, next up, we have the Raiders traveling to Kansas City to face the Chiefs. Chiefs are favored by 9.5. I'm going to take the Chiefs, but not 9.5.
I got the Chiefs in this one too, and it's not so much about the Chiefs offense, but the Chiefs defense is what I really like about this one.
Exactly. We got the Saints traveling to New York, face the Jets. Jets are favored by 5. I'm actually willing to take that. I'll take that action. Not the Jets, the Saints are favored by 5. And I'm taking the Saints with the 5.
Oh, for a moment I thought you were taking the Jets.
No.
Yeah, I got New Orleans in this one. It's a game that I don't feel very good about because, is Alvin Kamara going to be back?
He's supposed to be.
Okay, well, if Alvin Kamara's back, he's going to run all over the Jets. If Alvin Kamara's out, this is a game that I'm not going to want to watch.
All right, next up, we have the Atlanta Falcons traveling to Carolina. Carolina's favored by 2.5. I'm taking Atlanta.
Another game that I really wouldn't want to watch.
No.
but I am going with Carolina.
Ooh, the first one we disagree on.
Yeah, it sucks they got rid of Joe Brady because I really don't think offensive coordinator Joe Brady was the problem in Carolina. I think problems run much deeper. I'm curious to see what the offense looks like. I still don't think Cam Newton's going to throw more than 6 yards down the field, but we'll see. I got Carolina.
All right, next up we have the Seattle Seahawks traveling to Houston, face those Texans. Seahawks are favored by 7.5. Honestly, I think these Texans have given up. I'm gonna take that action.
Yeah, I just think a couple weeks ago when Houston beat Tennessee, and I'm like, they have it. They have something. If they want to be inspired and play, I don't know how well David Culley is inspiring this team. I'm taking Seattle for the win. I don't know about that spread action though.
All right, we got the Lions traveling to Denver, face those Broncos, and the Denver's favored by 8, but by 8. That's a lot. That's a whole lot. I got Denver winning, but I don't know about 8. I mean, the Lions do play tough.
I have Denver winning as well, and I think I read something earlier today that said Detroit was actually really good against the spread.
Very good.
So I think Detroit's going to make it a little bit closer. They're hungry. They just got their first win. It's definitely not going to be the beginning of a streak, but I think it gives them some confidence and some swagger coming into this week.
So we got the Giants traveling to LA to face those Chargers. Chargers are favored by 10.5.
Oof.
Chargers gonna win, but not by 10.5.
I mean, the Dolphins just beat them by 11.
Okay, maybe.
You know?
Oh no. They're gonna probably win by more. I forgot. Jake Fromm's gonna be the quarterback.
Yeah. There's no Daniel Jones. There's no Mike Lennon. You're likely looking at Jake Fromm making his NFL starting debut.
All right, next up, we have the 49ers traveling to Cincinnati, face the Bengals. I think this is one of those situations where the Bengals get right. Since he's only favored by 1, but I think since he gets this win.
Since he lost the Jets, since he lost the Browns, they won against the Raiders, they won against the Steelers, they lost to the Chargers. I think I'm going to San Francisco for this one.
All right. We'll see how it goes. All right, next up we got Buffalo going to Tampa. Face those Buccaneers. Tampa's favored by 3. I'm taking Tampa here, but I don't feel good about it.
You don't think Tampa Bay is going to win by more than 3?
No. I just don't feel. No, I don't know. Buffalo could easily win this game.
Or they could easily lose to Jacksonville by 3.
That could happen too.
So I have Tampa
Tampa
Bay.
can also lose. Tampa can also lose to the Saints. So I mean, and they got smashed by them
by 9. Yeah, they lost by 10 to the Washington football team.
So
I've got old man Brady. I'd probably take the spread on that one.
But you don't feel good about it.
No.
I told you.
But I'd take it.
All right. Biggest spread of the week, Sunday Night Football. The Bears travel to Green Bay, playing at Lambeau Field for the umpteenth time. Green Bay is favored by 12.5. And I'm taking all that action I can get.
Oh, the rivalry between the Bears and the Packers. You never know what to expect. So
I can expect the Packers to win.
Well, yeah, I can expect that. But as far as the score goes, I don't know what to trust for the score.
I do.
I
do.
You do.
I do.
I'm glad you feel more confident. I mean, I'm hoping that David Bakhtiari's back. I'm hoping that Za'Darius Smith and Jair Alexander are back this weekend. That's the hope.
All right. Lastly, we got the Monday Night Football game, marquee game. The Rams travel to the desert, face those Arizona Cardinals. Arizona's favored by 2.5, and Arizona's going to have the same result as last time, where they beat up on the Rams. I'm sorry, I just don't think I think the Rams are going to play well, but they're not enough here. And
No, I agree with that. Kyler Murray's back. DeAndre Hopkins is back. It's going to be the same Arizona Cardinal team.
all right, so that's all she wrote this week, folks. Hopefully, if you have any questions, let us know. The Cat Daddy, Instagram, Twitter. Elliot, Instagram, Twitter. Say love you.